Hey guys, Luna here with the review, and today we have a really special video, a video I was really excited to record. Finally, British singer-songwriter Adele has blessed us with a new album, her fourth studio album, and one of the most awaited albums of the whole year, 30. I was personally really excited because, as you know, Adele is one of my favorite artists. No sarcasm about that, huh? I was really excited to see what she had for us on this album, and yeah, let's just get on with the video. Let's talk about the first thing. I don't like to repeat myself, but it's really important for you to understand what this album is about. This album is about divorce.
Divorce, babe, divorce.
So, I was waiting for a lot of heartbreak songs on this album, but that wasn't what we got. No. Actually, only a few of the songs on this album refer directly to divorce. Adele takes a really interesting perspective on divorce because the album talks more than anything about herself and how this has changed her, why she got to this decision, and even a song about her daughter, which I didn't even know Adele had a daughter, and that song, I'm gonna talk later about that song. Now, because I'm a little late on this album and I've read a few reviews, people are calling this Adele's most honest album, and I have to disagree. I mean, I understand that maybe this was the most personal album she has ever made, but that doesn't mean that it's her most honest. The thing is that Adele, with her songwriting, has always been really good expressing her feelings. Instead of this album, it's really confusing. The ideas are not clear. Most of the songwriting is really similar, especially in the second part of the album. Songs like To Be Loved, I Drink Wine, A Woman Like Me, and Love Is a Game talk about the same thing, just from different points of view or performed in a different way. And I don't know if I like that. I've heard this album 3 times already. To make this review, I like to listen to the albums a few times so I know that I have the right idea. And with this album, the first thing that came to mind is I'm not really sure that I understand what she's talking about.
Divorce, babe, divorce.
And I don't think that that's because I haven't gone through a divorce myself. I think it's more because the songwriting wasn't really focused. Now, this is only on the second part of the album because the first is just, I don't understand what Adele was trying to do in the first part of the album. It's completely different, not only in terms of lyrics, but also in terms of instrumentals and how even her voice is produced in a different way. The point is that in terms of lyrics, the album is both her most honest record, but at the same time, her most confusing record too. You don't really understand what Adele is trying to say to you. You know it's something really personal, and you know that this writing these songs was a really complicated process for her, but you don't understand. You don't get the message that she's trying to tell you. At least I didn't get it. And as I said before, I've heard this album 3 times already. I'm not really convinced with the lyricism on this album. I do know that it's beautiful. The way that the lyrics are put together just don't resonate with me like it has with her previous records. Because let me tell you something, if I like something about Adele's music, it's both her performance and the words that she's speaking. I really like the way that she used to write songs, and that thing that I love about her, I cannot really see it on this album. That is, of course, when she doesn't just throw a voice memo with her daughter. That probably the most uncomfortable thing about this album. It was cringy. The voice memo with her daughter was just cringy, and I didn't like it at all, because she was saying all of these things that you may feel when you go through a divorce, right? I am confused, I'm having some big feelings, mommy is a little confused, but her daughter didn't seem to give a fuck. Her daughter was playing with her toys when she was saying all of this. And that just makes the whole thing weird, because why are you talking about this with your daughter that clearly doesn't understand what you're saying? Because I don't know how old Adele's daughter is, but I don't think she's old enough for her to understand what you're trying to say to her. So rather than coming out as a daughter-mother moment, it's more like, yeah, mom, okay, let me just play, okay? Just get the fuck out of here and let me just play with my toys. There's another song, I Drink Wine, where she puts another voice memo. This time she was going through a really hard moment, but even this moment of honesty came out as maybe forced in a way, because she's talking about how she feels lonely, but she really doesn't want to go out, but she's always been good by herself watching TV, but she still feels lonely and she doesn't know what to do. She's a bit confused, and I understand that maybe that's a feeling you get, right? You don't really want to go out and you have no one to go out with, but still you don't want to be alone, but you don't want to be with anyone. I get that sort of confusion, but I don't know, it seems so stupid to put it in at the end of it. Such an amazing song. I Drink One is a really great song, and that voice memo just cuts the vibe, especially because the quality of the voice memo is horrible. It seems like she's talking in a tunnel, because it's like, what, you were having a crisis and you decided to just, I'm gonna just record this so I can put this on my album. What was the point of it? I don't know. I like the lyrics, and the lyrics go well with the songs, but I think that she could have done way more. She could have tried way harder to put these lyrics together so it makes sense. So you have an idea of what you just listened. Because believe me, I've heard this album a couple times and I don't know what the album was about.
Divorce, babe, divorce.
Okay, now don't hate me just yet. I liked the lyrics and I can just give it a pass on that. We are cool with that. But the instrumentals we have, I'm gonna be a little rough in this one because I have a few problems. The second part of this album is just beautiful. I love it. I think it was amazing. A bit slow, that is true, the tracks are a bit slow, but once they get on, they hit hard. It's amazing, the vocal performance is amazing, the backing vocals are amazing, the instrumentals are amazing. I love them. The main problem is in the first part of the album. I don't know who made these decisions because they are just, they don't go well with Adele. I did not like it. Not at all. The first song on this album, Strangers by Nature, sounds like a song that could have been in the soundtrack of a movie released in the 1950s but was produced by a modern producer. It feels like a Billie Eilish song, actually. It feels like a Billie Eilish song, and I don't like it. I don't think it goes well with Adele's voice. I mean, the song is beautiful, but it turns boring by the end. And she's not even saying anything interesting. Then you have Easy On Me, which is an amazing song. It's one of the best songs on the album, if not the best. But the problem is that it doesn't go well in the first part of the album. The vocals are mixed differently. The instrumentals are different, everything is different, so this song is like an intruder on the first part. And I'll tell you, the song is amazing, but it doesn't really sound that good in between the tracks the song is in. Because then you have My Little Love, which is a song about Adele's daughter. Lyrically, the song is amazing, it's really deep, and I like the theme of the song, even though I don't really like the voice memo included in. But the song itself is good. The problem is that the instrumental for this song could have been in a 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack. It's a song that you would use, or an instrumental you would use, if you're going to write a song about your lover or a man you're in love with, not about your daughter. It's weird. Not even the performance. The performance is so low and so breathy that, once again, it sounds sensual, sexy, but this is a song about your daughter. But I don't know, Adele chose that this was the instrumental that she wanted for the song about her daughter. I guess it's okay. I just didn't like it. I think it sounds off. Then you have Oh My God, Can I Get It, which are probably the worst songs in Adele's discography, and I'm not exaggerating, these songs are horrible. Or maybe the songs are not that bad, but considering this is Adele, you really have high standards, and these songs just don't go with those high standards at all. Can I Get It is a song where I don't even recognize Adele's voice. It sounds so weird, so basic. I mean, if this song were to play on the radio and no one told me it's Adele, I would have guessed it's just another artist of the mainstream right now. Adele's voice is so iconic, and you have to be crazy if you want to just blend it with everything that the music industry is filled with. I was listening to this album, and halfway through, when the good things start to go, I was like, what the fuck was the first part then? That leads me to the second part, which is filled with incredibly well written and performed ballads. that, you know, talk about self-growth. Adele talks about how love is a game for fools, but she's being fooled again and again and again and again. And if she had the chance, she would do it again. And that is an incredible, incredible reference. I love the second part of this album, but because I love the second part, I cannot ignore the first part. You have the worst of Adele on the first part, and you have some of the best things she has released on the second. That just doesn't make a good album. It's inconsistent, and I was a bit disappointed, I have to say it. As I said, the second part of this album is filled with amazing songs, and I think that, I don't know, I just loved every single one of them, especially that interlude that is actually Adele singing on a lo-fi beat. I think that's an experiment that went well. I like the way that Adele's voice sounds on that lo-fi beat that you would find on those YouTube live streams that tell you music to study or relax. You know, I'm gonna place one right here. I'm pretty sure you've seen it. It's amazing. I like that song too, and it's a really beautiful interlude. I like it. As I said, the second part of this album is amazing, but the first one, no. And that leads me to the conclusions. Overall, the album is pretty good. I mean, I have to be honest, I really enjoyed the album. The first part, I didn't, I've said this like 10,000 times, but I just have to be honest. The first part of this album, I didn't really like, although I can try to ignore it and just play it and wait till it's over so that second part comes in and completely blow my mind. I think that it's worth it to get this album, even if you're not an Adele fan. I think you will enjoy it. I like the album. I think the vocals were pretty good. Some of the instrumentals were amazing. The lyrical theme was amazing. And yeah, I like the album. In terms of rating, I cannot give this album such a high score, especially because, I mean, I'm a really big fan of 21 and 25. So I thought that this album may reach those standards, but it didn't. Yeah, this album gets a 6. That is it for today's video, guys. A bit disappointed really, but I still love my girl Adele. I love her. She looks better than ever. I think that she's rocking it. The vocals are amazing, even in the live performances she's done on this album. I love her, and I hope that we don't have to wait another 5 years for a new album. Come on, what the fuck? Just give me a new album soon. I don't want to wait 5 years for a new album, Adele. Why can't you just be more constant with the releases? I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I can bring you a new review really soon. So if you want to see more, subscribe to the channel. And if you want me to review to a specific album, please leave a comment down below in the comments. Also, leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. I would really appreciate it. Goodbye for now, and we'll see each other in the next video. Bye.